Hi family, welcome to Mihloti Joy Mohale YouTube channel. Thank you for always connecting. Thank you for commenting, liking, sharing, and most importantly, thank you for subscribing. Please ask your friends to subscribe as well. You know, I hope that you've enjoyed the previous material or content that I posted here on my channel, and thank you if it really did help, right? And what do I want to talk about today? I wanted to talk about my transition from corporate to Christ and then to church. From corporate to Christ to church. You know, change, I've heard that change is one of the constants, you know. Change will always be there. One constant thing about change is that change is change. It's not gonna, you know, become something else. And often we get very comfortable as people. We enjoy comfort zone, we enjoy familiarity. But when I came to Christ, maybe let me start there. There were some things that by the Spirit of the Lord I had to leave behind. Excuse me, because when God is busy with you, you are not bringing all the stuff, you know, that you used to do, being a groove girl, you know, being the life of a party or something like that. For some reason, those things don't make sense anymore. I've had fun, you know, as a uni student. I had fun in the township of Meadowlands, and how we enjoyed our gigs was, you know, always with family. So your cousin is my friend, your friend is my cousin. So we ended up just doing groove, you know, as a group, and we ended up calling each other cousins. So that's how we rolled back in the days, BC, meaning before Christ. And employment has always been a challenge, you know, in our communities in South Africa. Even if you have a qualification, you know, it doesn't guarantee you an immediate job or employment. I remember my friend and I would go to this other church that I won't mention. Back in the days, we'd be holding our photos like this, qualification like that, and just believing God for a miracle. We even tried acting, you know, theater. We went for what you call this thing? We went for auditions with Bra Gibbs at some stage, and I remember there was a line we were given, and we needed to rehearse this line, and you needed to do the face most. You had to look ugly, and my friend said, Ngasikhoni. She's very pretty. She's got dimples, you know. She's just, you know, that girl. She's like, no, this is not for me. I can't look ugly. Hey, we laughed. Even to this day, we laugh, you know. And I remember now working for the pro shop. I met someone there, and I told them, I have a qualification. I have a diploma. And that's how I got my job as a graduate in training. And I was promoted once after I finished the graduate in training program, and then I was stuck 7 years. Like you know, check the previous video that I made, 2 sessions before this one, I don't remember. And when I came to Christ, it was in 2004, being now in the corporate world. I was born again 2004, just the same week my grandmother passed on, you know. And now I'm so in love with Jesus. And, you know, I can't put my Bible away. All the magazines that I used to subscribe to, I've lost passion for reading them. I've lost passion for reading the newspapers that I was enjoying before I was born again. I'm not saying it's wrong not to subscribe to magazines or still enjoy content. It's good, but with me, my journey was different. So the Lord was just cleaning me up, removing the rough edges until I was, the Bible was the focal point. And he would still speak to me because I would just page through the Bible, and always it would pick up these verses that talk about sexual immorality. I do talk about it in my book called Undistracted. And I'm like, yeah, so what is happening? So I could see that something is changing. The Lord is, reaching out to me. This is now before I was born again, just trying to read the Bible casually. But when I got born again, I never looked back. And the Lord started to do things for me that no one else could do in the corporate world. And my family could see that, this girl is blessed. I remember my brother asking me, sister, what is happening? Are you dying? Because he saw this change. It was so tangible, It's a change that you cannot hide when Christ is now your man, the focal point of your life. That was my life. And I didn't know the plans the Lord had for me. But, I was single, raising a boy by myself, not complaining. And one day, the Lord deemed it fit for me to be married. And I worked until, I think, in 2009, when I was waiting for the government. I could feel that the Lord was now calling me. It was like a full-time calling to serve the Lord. And I had to quit my job in 2009. I had to quit my job. So I'm still talking about what? Transition. So transitioning from corporate to Christ, it was very easy because, Christianity is it's lifestyle. You do that life daily. That's who you are now. You read the Bible, you pray, you fast, you mingle with other Christians, you learn a lot, you buy Christian books and stuff like that. It was, it was okay. It was okay until I got married. Now I have to be transitioning from corporate to church. Let me tell you, it was not easy because first of all, I'm no longer getting a salary, and it took a while for me just to be employed by the church, and I had lost lots of money because of the salary I was earning, and now I'll just appreciate having 10 rands. 10 rands like, yo, thank you, Father, thank you, God, thank you, Mpilo. So I found it very difficult to transition from corporate to church because the systems are different, processes are different. This is like God's business. They incorporate the systems. Everyone knows what they must do. But here it's like, okay, where's the job description? There's no job description for being a pastor's wife. There's no job description. There's no manual. In my case, I even forgot the mic. In my case, I had to not do anything. For quite some time, I was very frustrated because in my previous church, I would be given opportunities to preach, and I would also be invited by friends to preach, and here I just needed to sit down. It was very difficult for me. So I struggled at first, like I sensed like, there's a lot of rejection here because there was someone before me, first lady, if you may, before me, and people are just like, comparison, and there's like, we have a reference here, we have a history, we have a past, and what's up? So I found it very difficult until the Lord spoke. I remember as I was driving to church, he said, this is your home, but I've called you to nations. So these are the words that kept me grounded. And also having discussions with people that have been where I am or where I was, people who have traversed, this journey of transitions, if you may. I needed to learn from them. Okay, sometimes you will feel like that seed that must be underground for 12 years or however many years, but one day you will sprout, one day you will blossom, one day you will bud. It was very difficult. And at the same time, I was trying to balance this new thing as a pastor's wife and being a wife and a mother at home, raising 2 teenagers. Hey, it was very difficult. It's like I hit the ground running. But if you're asking me now, 15 years later, I can mentor, I can coach people on managing the transition. But the one thing that kept me was knowing that it was the Lord who was ordering my steps. But the challenge I had now was to convince my husband that I heard the Lord say, quit your job. It was very difficult. And when we would have those discussions to say, oh, now there's one salary. Then I started to, did I hear from God? Or maybe I thought I heard from God. So I needed to snap out of that and just know that it's not easy to manage this change, this transition. But where I am, I think I'm comfortable, I'm getting settled. And the Lord has been good to me. So that's how I manage the transition. There's quite a lot I was able to do also in the church space with them. Programs that I have developed, working with other people as well, because I'm still passionate about people development. So I'm a pastor now. I'm also a pastor's wife. So I've learned to step up, and realize also that, hey, by the way, I'm called. I'm going to be held accountable for the calling of God upon my life, the assignment. You understand? So, but my husband has also been very instrumental in my growth in the church. Assimilation. He likes this nice English, my husband. Assimilation. How are you going to be assimilated in the church? I'm like, Ngosiam. But I'm good now, I've made families right here in the church. So that's a little bit about myself. Until next time, God bless you. Thank you for tuning in.